Hey, family, this is Timlin Bowens, the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions and America's favorite EA. In today's video, I'm going to cover how to request an extension for your small business tax return. And in this example, when I talk about small business, I'm actually referring to a partnership or an S corporation. Okay? Now, the deadline to have a partnership or S-Corp return filed is March 15th. If you know that you are not going to be able to have everything prepared by then, you need to make sure that you have your 7004, which is the form that we're looking at, filled out and filed by March 15th. So in this example, we are going to use a partnership that quite a few of us are familiar with. So we're going to use Sanford and Son. Now, here in this area with the identifying number, this is simply going to be your company's EIN. So it's a 9-digit number that the IRS assigns to you to be able to identify you and also to track your different activity. Okay. So it's the first 2 digits, a dash, and then the remaining 7. Here, we're going to put your address that's on file with the IRS. So in this example, we have 13 Tweed Street, and then we are in Cranston, Rhode Island. All right. Now, on this 7004 part 1, we see here we have to say who the application is for, or I should say what type of entity it's for. So a partnership is going to file a Form 1065, which we see right here. So our application code is going to be 09. So we're going to put that in here. All right. So now we have part 1 down or done. When we get to part 2, if the organization is a foreign corporation that does not have an office or place of business in the United States, check here. So we know in our example, they're right in Rhode Island, so this is not going to apply to them. For number 3, if the organization is a corporation and is the common parent of a group that intends to file a consolidated return, check here. That's not going to apply here either. And if that's confusing to you, think about Coca-Cola. Okay, Coca-Cola is the parent company to a lot of different subsidiaries. So think about the different smaller corporations that Coca-Cola owns. All right. So if you have something set up like that where you have to file a consolidated return and you have subsidiaries, that's when you would check box 3. But moving along, line 4, if the organization is a corporation or partnership that qualifies under regulation section 1.608 dash 5, I'm sorry, 1.6081 dash 5, check here. Now, this is going to be partnerships, corporations that will automatically get an extension of time to file without having to request it. This is going to be partnerships that keep their books and records outside of the US or Puerto Rico, or a foreign corporation that maintains an office or place of business in the US. If we have a domestic corporation that transacts its business and keeps its books and records outside of the US or Puerto Rico, or if it's a domestic corporation whose principal income is from sources within the possessions of the US. So again, for the majority of people, line 4 in this box is not going to apply to you. It most certainly doesn't for Sanford and Son, right? Because like I said, the junkyard is right in Rhode Island. Now, 5A is going to apply to you. So this is a continuous use form. So the last time it was revised was December 2018. So until it's revised again, we'll keep using this form. So we want to put the application is for calendar year. If you're filling it out right now, it will be 2023. Or if you're somebody that has a fiscal year, you would put when the year starts with this date and when the year ends with this date. Now, 5B, if it's a short year, which means the tax year is less than 6 months, you're going to check the reason. So the reason for that could be if it was the initial return, which means you started the business on June 1st of 2023, and then calendar year is going to be, or I'm sorry, the year would end December 31st of 2023, right? So that's one example of why you may have a short year. The same thing applies if it is the final year and you didn't finish it out all the way to December 31st, right? Or if you have a change in the accounting period, if a consolidate return is being filed, which if that is the situation, this here, box 3 may apply to you. But those are just a few examples of why you may have a short year. So partnerships don't pay tax at the partnership level because it flows through to the partners. So right here, we know that we're going to be putting 0 and the balance due is going to be 0. And believe it or not, this form is actually completed. Now, you'll want to make sure, again, that you get this in the mail by the deadline, which is March 15th. When you send anything to the IRS, I always highly recommend that you get that sent and you send it certified. So you have that green receipt with the tracking number. And just in case there's any funny business from the IRS, you can say, hey, we did actually get this filed on time. But really quick, before I let you go, let's say that Sanford and Son was actually an S corporation. The only thing here that would change is the form code. So an S corporation is form 1120S. Oops. We see that form code is 25. So we would put the 2 and the 5 there, right? This criteria is still going to be the same. None of these apply for Sanford and Son, so we're not going to worry about that. We're still filling this out for tax year 2023, so this is still good. And an S corp, similar to a partnership, is not going to pay tax at the S corp level. All right? So we know the tentative total tax is going to be 0. So we're not going to send any payments with that because we don't want to just give the IRS money for free, right? And let them hold that with the balance due also of 0. All right. So if you have any questions about this form, sending it in, please let me know in the comments, and best wishes to all of you with getting this form filed on time.